my computer is almost dead, so I wanted to go ahead and do the process of the last cut here. I already started the engraving because I was like, it's not going to last, and my son's using my charger for his Chromebook for school, so that's more important. So I've laid out the pieces that I want the laser to cut, and I have already put the settings for cut. So 90, 10. That's what I like to do with this thicker leatherette. It depends on what you what parameters you have on your laser, what they'll do. So for me, a 90-10 millimeters per second works very well with this 20-watt laser. Okay, so I want to just kind of see where everything is going to be. So I am going to hit the little frame button. Sorry guys, I'm probably going to be like, hold on, the element is placed outside of the area. Is it? Okay, hold on. Okay, let's try it now. There we go. Hit the button. I just want to make sure that it frames out properly within the gauge. It's going to be kind of close right there, so I'm going to do a small adjustment here. So right here, because it's really, really close to that right there, I want to cut that little piece off. This little wing, I'm going to cut that off so that it can lay flat. There we go. Oh, there's a magnet underneath there. It's a good thing I looked. Okay. I'm going to take this. This is just painter's tape that I'm using around the sides. It helps just kind of keep everything down a little bit better. Oh, sorry. You guys aren't even able to look because I can't see. There we go. Okay. So now we're going to reframe it again. I'm doing all of this with one hand, guys. Way me. Way to go, me. Okay. So I'm going to hit the framing button again. Hit the button. Just going to make sure it's all looking good. Awesome. Okay, good. So I just wanted to make sure it wasn't going to hit up against that piece right over there. Finish. And then I'm going to hit process. Then it's going to tell me everything. Don't walk away. Yada, yada, yada. Start. Hit the button to start. And the laser is going to go. Now, I am not walking away. I'm going to watch this thing for the next 4 minutes. If you guys have any questions in the meantime, you can put it in the there we go. If you have any questions, you can ask me in the comments. Now this one is kind of bowing up a little bit when it's after it's cutting. It's kind of warping a little bit. It is on the thicker side as well. It's going to go and cut all that out. Now, Tori over at Seems Legit does not have these pieces as a, what you call it, a CSV file, like a cut file. She doesn't have it as a cut file. I pretty much had to do it myself with the measurements of the pattern pieces. And I was just able to put it into the Xtool thing. Deanne, your comment for some reason said it was like held for review. I don't know why. If you want to put it again, I'll try to have it be approved. Here we go. It's cutting really well. I am cutting out a pattern from Seems Legit. It's her pattern that she just released in February called the Dingo. I'm cutting it out on the laser. So this is Leatherette. So it's laserable. I can engrave it and I can also cut it. So I'm going to probably end up pausing it for a second. In just a minute here, because I don't want it going too far over and getting caught with that little piece that's kind of lifted. So as soon as it finishes there, yep, Xtool M1 Ultra 20 watt. Okay. And believe it or not, this particular Leatherette I actually did buy off of Etsy, I think it was, before I started getting my own sources for it. I'm just going to put this here just so I can tape it down and it doesn't bunch up and get caught on the driver on this thing here. Since I've already cut there, I just want to tape it so it goes down. There we go. Okay. It's just painter's tape. All right, well, let me go ahead and hit continue. Continue. Hit the button. There we go. Yep, Xtool M1 Ultra. It can do all kinds of things. This thing, you can use a rotary cutter, a fine point cutter with a mat, just like a Cricut or a Silhouette, or a Brother Scan and Cut, and then lasering, engraving. Okay. You can do all those wonderful things. It's doing the last bit of the cut. It does not require a lot of learning. So if you've ever used a Cricut with like the design space, the Xtool's program itself, this program here itself is very similar to a lot of the same things for it, and then have a lot of like free spec'd out things that you can try as well. It's really easy to switch over from model. Like this one says lasering right there, and then I can switch if I want to go over to a blade cut. The roller, you do have to put in these different attachments for that. Same thing with the cut blade. You have to change out the modular for that. The pen drawing, you have to change out the modular. The inkjet printing, you have to change out the modular. Multi-processing just depends on which ones you need. I could technically do the screen printing right here, but I don't have this part. So it's an extra little piece you can attach to it. So I have every accessory except for that, the screen printing. I have everything else. And then over here under materials, it gives you a whole list of materials. And when you click on the materials, it will actually already, I'll just hit the apply button there. It automatically changes all of the like power and how fast it goes and everything like that to the application. So it's really takes a lot of the guesswork out of it. All right, so let's get this off here. And that's all I'm doing on the laser. All the other pieces I'm doing out of cotton. So I'll show you guys how I do that whole process. So I'm just gonna take this whole thing out. I'll clean it in a second. All right, let's go ahead and get that. And we're gonna get this And then I'm going to set you guys up on my there we go. Hopefully you guys can see pretty well. I'm going to put you guys over here on my tablet so I can see comments. Because I do want to see your comments. If you have any questions, I try to answer them as I see them come. If your question didn't get answered, write it again so that way I can hopefully respond to it. Because like right now, coming over here. I turn off my sound. Oh, hi there. A rare kind of monster. Thank you so much. Okay, so comments are up. Good. Perfect. Thanks, Deanne. Oh, I have a airplane. So see, it kind of does a lot of the cutting already, but sometimes it just needs a little extra. This is a really thick leatherette. I had to stop it here because you see how it's doing that? It got caught on the module and I was like, no. I'll just trim that all up. So all this here I'm going to wipe off and then trim away anything that looks charred. So it essentially like just took off a layer of it so that it could show the black of this piece here. So yeah. Thank you. Yeah, it was a pretty pricey purchase for sure. I purchased it literally right before I closed my studio in Raleigh. And I'm getting more and more acquainted with it and getting more familiar with what it can do and doing more things with it. So my friend Tori, the one who designed this pattern, she actually is the one who got me very interested in lasers. And then she had a collectible type of box thing happening over in Australia, and she asked if I would be willing to, do all the laser cutting and all that stuff for anybody who wanted to do it here in the States. And I was like, sure, I'll do it. I learned a lot making boxes from the laser. It was pretty cool how it did it, but yeah. Okay, I'm gonna keep these. Don't throw these little pieces away here. You can use these for other things. Like I can put another embellishment of something else there and then put this on another bag or something. Okay. There we go. And same thing with this piece here. I'm not going to get rid of it. I can use this to make a lot of different like the woven tags like this. My hands are pretty dirty, right? I'm going to actually go wash them here in a second. But just like this one here, you guys can hopefully see how that's done. I can make tags like that from this. And then the Xtool has this really cool thing where depending on whether you're scoring, cutting, or engraving, it'll do like this little chart on the materials itself so that you can have like a sample and then you can know, okay, what's going to have the best outcome for this type of material. And for me, I did it at like 70% at 300, between 200 and 300, and I thought that was the best one. So it's just on the materials, it'll also tell you. A keychain, that's right. I can also make a keychain. Okay, so let me finish with this and then I'm going to grab a napkin. Like a wet napkin to wipe all this off. And then I'll show you guys what we're making so that you guys can kind of see what the final product needs to look like. Okay, so the final product with this what we're cutting out is called the Dingo. And my friend Tori designed this. This was my tester for her, just the quick mock-up. So it has money for bills, like little slots for bills, two identification ones, because she has a military ID and a like a regular driver's license, and then here 7 slots for putting in card slots. It can hold about 4 or 5 cards per slot, 7 slots, so that's pretty cool. And then it closes like this, and then it has a little zipper pocket. Hi Dorothy, hi Shanova. And it has this cute little pocket in the back for change or whatever, so it turned out really cute. So I'm making this for my friend Deanne. She's in the comments, and she is, oh, thank you. Yeah, so she is in the comments, and she's also going to be near be a monitor for me, or what's it called? I don't know what it is. Moderator. There you go. Okay, so I'm gonna go get a wet wipe really fast, plug you guys in so that you guys don't go dead, and hopefully you guys will be back in just a second. So give me just a second, guys. There we go. That's helping that stay where it needs to. All right, give me a quick second. I'm gonna wash my hands and get a wet wipe. If you have any questions, just put them in the comments. I've had the cut files for this forever. Oops, sorry guys, I keep bumping you. I'm so sorry. I have the cut files for this, for these designs. I just put in a text font for that one. But the NC State and the Wolfpack, which is NC State, I've had those for years because I've had a lot of clients who are NC State fans. I actually made a really gorgeous NC State themed t-shirt quilt a few years ago, and it was auctioned off for a what you call it, like a nonprofit or something like that. It was a charitable donation. It was really nice. Do I have a complex embroidery with machines? Nope. I don't do embroidery. I tried a long time ago. That's just not my thing. I'm gonna say same thing with like DTF. Not my. No, sorry, not DTF. The weeding, you know, of like transfers. I don't know what they're called anymore. But that stuff. The vinyls. Nope. Don't do that either. I do order DTF from my friend who has a small business in Clayton. I order my DTF through her. And if you're not familiar with what DTF is direct to film, and it's really cool. I'll show you how it looks. I think I have a piece somewhere around here. I have a piece of DTF that I'm going to be using to put on my son's new backpack. Okay, there we go. And I'm going to trim this around here too. I'm just going to let that dry. Let that dry. Just plain soapy water will help with getting this off. Thanks, Noah. Yeah, she does. And she has a really amazing turnaround. If you ever want to have like a online shop with like merchandise for like clothes, like hoodies, like, you know, themed things, like I don't know what it's called, but she does that. She can also create a like a drop ship site for you. So you don't have to do any of this stuff yourself, but if you have people who follow you with like your shirts or designs or anything like that, they can buy it. You get a commission off of it. And then you don't have to do anything other than promote it. She makes it, ships it, and sends it out for you, invoices it, all that stuff. I still need to get her information from you. Okay, so it's Make Life Special. I'll try to put it in here. Hold on. Make Life Special. And she's in Clayton, North Carolina. If you put that in Google, you will... I put an 8 instead of an I. Don't worry about me. It'll pop right up. Okay, so these are these pieces. So this is this piece. I just have to cut the little things there for it. This one is this piece, and I wanted to make sure I've got it large enough to fit with the design. The only thing I don't have on me is the clear vinyl. The clear vinyl is outside in the garage, and I can't get that because Luna is sleeping in the garage. And then this one, you see how it's a little bit bigger than it needs to be, so I can trim it down a little bit. But I also did it so that it would just cut those automatically. That's going to be there. So this one's going to be out of the clear vinyl. I'll have to get that from outside. She even gives you a little template so that you can do your spacing for your cards slots when you're doing your card slots. Okay, so this is a zipper pocket lining. We are going to do a little bit different because I want to have it that it goes, it's more like an overlay rather than cutting it out like the old-fashioned way of doing a zipper. And then card slot lining. This I'm also making a change on. For my particular one here, this piece here this is what the lining is. So she folded it over and folded it over and then top stitched over it. I was like, that is just way too much work. So I'm going to make this wider than this by about 3/8 of an inch larger on both sides, so that I can sew it into a tube, turn it out, and then top stitch and not have to do that whole folding over thing. Just a small change. I will be doing that. Slip pocket. So you'll need one for this side, as needed, reversed if needed, like that. I did do the things, but it ended up looking more round than it did squarish, so it was really cool. Thank you, Shanova. And then this is the main body cut out from the lining. So this is meant to have, so if you have a directional print, and this is like upside down if you would have it all as one, it has a seam there, so you could have it as 2 pieces. That's why I have mine cut in 2 pieces. Okay, so we've got these pieces that I'll need to be cutting out of cotton fabric. And this is a turned bag. It is not a raw edge bag. It could be, but she made it so it would be a turned bag. She wanted to make something that was a little, a little more user-friendly. Okay, so I got 1/4 yard of a poly cotton for the lining. It is a little thin. You can kind of see through it just a little bit. I will be interfacing this. I am not interfacing the vinyl though. The vinyl is pretty steady. I mean, it's like literally got rubber on the back. This is really meant to be made for like patches. So it's a really robust vinyl. So just using it for the outside and the pieces that need to be raw edged. It's pretty thick, so I'm not interfacing that. I got some utility fabric. It's really thin. It's very similar to the landscaping fabric that you can buy in the big roll and then cut it down. Only thing is you can buy it off of the bolts, so you don't have to worry as much, and it's a little thicker than that fabric, than the landscaping fabric. So I like this. It's in the utility section over at Hobby Lobby. So I went to Hobby Lobby again, and I spent $2.35 on these two items. So that was really good. They had a sale going on today. All right, so I am going to be using my medium weight fusible interfacing. This is thicker than an SF101, but not as thick as like a medium to heavyweight Pellon. It's not like that. I found this when I used to do embroidery, believe it or not, back in the day. I love it because it comes in a really big roll, and most of the time when I'm interfacing things, I don't need anything that's wider than 12 inches. So it works really well. So I like the size. It comes in a really, really big roll. I think it was like $30 for the roll, but it was huge. I mean, I've used that forever. Okay, so let me get my iron out and my ironing board so you guys can see how I do this, because I do it just a little differently. I like to put my ironing pieces together and then cut it out, so I'm only doing one cut instead of two. I get the instructions out of the way because you guys don't need to see that part, because I will not be sewing today. I am simply cutting and answering any questions that you guys may have in regards to the lasering process and all that stuff. All right, let me get my iron and my ironing pad. I have such limited space now. I'm literally in a dining room now. I went from having a huge 1,800 square foot sewing studio to a basement, a walkout basement, before I moved to this house, and then now I have a dining room, which is fine. It's better than nothing. It is better than nothing, so I will take it. All right, I'm going to turn it on to a wool setting. You don't have to have any water or steam with this. So this part here, I'm not doing anything with this yet. I'll be cutting it into a 2 1/4 inch wide strip by the width of the fabric. Okay. So all the pieces that I will be using for the interior, I am going to pretty much lay out and audition it on here. So it tells me how much of this do I have to interface. So like that. So I'm not doing any cutting now. I'm just kind of laying stuff out and being like, okay, that's there, and I need one of them. Go. Okay, cut one pocket lining. Good. Cut one of those, and then this, I need 2 of them. So but it needs to be reversed if there's a right side and a wrong side. For this particular fabric, there really isn't. So, because it's a solid. If it weren't a solid, then I would say you'd need to have it. Okay, so it's there. And that's just about as big as that. Okay, so I need to interface all the way to, let's say, here. Okay. So this is literally how I do it now. Take my pattern pieces off. Sorry guys, I keep bumping you guys with my leg. Okay, so it's stopping there. Okay. So now I'm going to take this and unroll it. To the length that I need it to be. And I don't have my HT ront anymore because I don't have space for it. So that's why I'm doing it just on a regular old ironing mat. Okay, and that's that. That is how I'm going to interface it. So because this is a cotton poly, it doesn't matter which side I'm going to do it on. So I'm just going to start with this side here. And this is a non-stick mat, so even though my interfacing might be off the edge here, that's okay. So when it comes to pressing or ironing interfacing, it's really important that you just have steady up and down motion, not back and forth. It's not like ironing like when you're at home ironing clothes. The steady pressure and heat for about 6 to 7 seconds is what you're looking for. And if it needs to have a second press, then you can do that. But that's also why the heat presses are so good with this, because it's like pressure, heat, everything, and then it's done. See, that comes right off. It's a non-stick mat. It doesn't stick. Nothing sticks to it, which I love it. I've had these mats like this forever. They're actually a dryer mat. It's a drying, a mat that you put on top of a dryer. So it's really, really nice, so that you can do ironing in your laundry room. Not that I ever iron any clothing items. I do not iron any articles of clothing at all. Only once in a while when my son or my husband, we have some type of a banquet or something like that, and we have to wear like a button-up shirt, then iron their shirts. Okay. All right. There we go. We're to the end of it now. So again, all this is just steady pressure down. It's not shaking it back and forth. I've been really into cross stitching lately as well, so I've been creating my own designs and doing cross stitch kits along with other beginner kits on my Etsy shop, and I've been having a lot of fun with that. Helps me be creative and have a sense of giving back. Okay. All right, so that's nice and done. Now I can turn off my iron and put that to the side. Okay. Take that, put it to the side, and I'm gonna grab my my rotating mat. So this is a 13 by 13 rotating mat. It is crucial when working in tiny spaces. I think the swiveling portion of it really helps. Okay, so we need to stay. I like to do the big pieces first. So with this here, what I like to do is just kind of roll it on itself. Let me do that really fast. When you're working with limited space, you've got to be creative. There we go. We'll roll that right out of the way. Okay. There we go. Now you can use a pen, a pencil, a marker, whatever you want to use to trace out the pattern. Hi, Melissa. It's just giving me an idea of like where I need to cut with my rotary cutter and or scissors. If you want to, you could also mark out the names of the pieces. Like this was pattern piece B. If you wanted to, you could do that. There's not that many pattern pieces in this particular pattern. Oh, thank you, Melissa. I love my machine. I painted it over a year ago. Again, my friend Tori. She's influenced me to do a lot of things. I'm not going to say whether it's good or bad. Just she has. She also has a painted machine. She has hers painted green. She's got the screen machine and the green machine. The screen machine is sure. The screen machine is a locking flip machine, and it sorry, I can't talk and concentrate at the same time. And she painted it black with glitter. So. Okay. My daughter loves her new bag. If you saw it, it's the Rowena, and she absolutely loves it. Okay, so see how that's kind of coming up a little bit? I'm gonna press that again. See that? It's just a little bit on that edge. I'm gonna press that again. So I'll put that over by the iron so I can press it again since it's already cut. All right, I did that one. card slot. Backing. I am making the goblin. Making the goblin. So Tori, what seems legit, is the pattern designer. I know we just had one. And then sometimes I get a little creative and I just like want to put the pattern piece down and it's straight, so might as well just do it like that. So I'll just be cutting it out today. I'm probably going to cut it out on a live, I think Wednesday. Okay, so that one's done. All my pieces I'm going to put together. And I'm actually going to re-iron all of it, just to be on the safe side. Sometimes I like to iron it from the opposite side, from this side, just to kind of get the glue to. Okay, so with this one, I can go like this and cut two of them. Okay. To really save up on the fabric, I'm gonna make it really, really close. That's perfect. Because I don't want it to shift on me too much. There we go. If I had a thinner, I know I have it somewhere around here. Again, small space, a lot of things. I have a thinner one of these. That's a 2.5 inch. That goes perfectly there, and I don't have to move my clips. I'll find it. I'm starting to reorganize everything in here. I've got one of my 3 drawer units here in front of me. Then I'm organizing all of the pre-made kits that I have. So that way I can do it this way. So I can have them ready just to pull and ship when I get an order. But I am in love with cross stitch right now. It's very, very soothing. It helps me just keep my hands busy, just cross stitching away. I enjoy stitching anyway, so I like that. And then it's easy to take on the go with. So it's kind of like embroidery, but not. Okay. So when it says to cut it in reverse, this is what it means. It means that it's like mirrored. So that you have 2 identical pieces that have a left and a right. So that's what I did with that. Take that, and I'll put that with the other pieces that I've cut. Okay. And last but not least, the zipper pocket lining. So this is where I'm going to do something a little different because I'm going to be constructing it different than what Tori does. So what I'm going to do is fold this in half and then add another inch to each one. So I'm actually just going to fold this in half and do it that way. And I'm doing that because this is sewn in like she does her traditional Tory pocket. And I want to do this a little differently and have it almost like if it was an overlay. So I'm making it more like a zipper overlay kind of construction. Now the way she has it written in the pattern is for a cotton or something like that. So it's made to be for something that's not raw edge. So that's why it's written that way. Okay. And then now I'm going to add an inch to the bottom to cut out 2 pieces. So anywhere I do something different, I will let you know. So there we go. Oh man, I meant to make the pocket lining piece, this piece here, wider than what the original one called for. Oh. It's a good thing I have extra fabric. Not a lot, but I have it. See, I wasn't thinking. I need to make a note on that here. Okay, I like to make notes for myself. So I like to have it so that on either side, I have 3/8 of an inch extra so that I can sew it down each side and turn it out like a tube and then put it down. So that's perfect because, all right, let's get some more interfacing on here. I won't need all of it, but might as well. I have a little pin that I stick on this thing. Here it is. And it's got a white head and my table is white, so I always lose it. I'm always losing it. Okay, let's iron all this together and then redo this one piece. I know that I can keep my mat there. I can keep my cutting board there because it's not that big. I could just go right over it. If that was a regular cutting mat, this one here, if it was like a regular a self-healing mat, like the thinner ones, if you put any heat anywhere near it, it's going to start bubbling. So you don't want to do it with one of those. But this one here, this mat's pretty thick. And it's not that much heat anyway. It's getting too hot. It's getting too hot and it's starting to bubble because I put it up to a cotton setting instead of a wool setting. Okay, don't you warp on me. That's what happens when you have it too high. Okay, let me let that cool off for a second. cut this and then I can go back to doing the other pieces. Oh, Melissa, I just saw your question. Yes, my daughter and I painted it. Yes, my daughter and I painted this machine with spray paint. So like like enamel kind of spray paint, like what you would use for like cars. Okay, so I'm just going to do a ½ inch on either side, just to be on the safe side. I don't need to make it any longer, just a little wider. Okay, perfect. So this was the original size. So I made it a little bit bigger on each side. You read my mind, I was just going to ask what kind of paint it is. Yes, it's an enameled, like a car paint. It does chip away after a while. So like down here, I'm gonna have to touch it up a little bit more. Even with the clear coat, it still kind of has a little bit of a wear and tear because the clear coat's not that thick. I mean, I guess I could have done a more clear coat, but I was impatient. I was impatient. So like, let's imagine that this is the card slot piece. When you go like this, right, you're gonna sew one side and then push this over and sew the other side. And so then that way when you level it out, you have a piece of this right on either side. So yeah, put that aside for something else. Okay, so while all of my pieces are there, I'll put that over by the iron so I can iron it again later. Okay. Now on to the other pieces. So now I'm going to cut the strip of fabric. Oh, I'm getting something. It was some kind of thing. Okay. So because I want it to be the whole length of it, you could fold it and then cut it. But sometimes you get like a little bit of a bowing when that happens. So I am just going to lay it out flat. And this end here looks to be pretty. Okay, so there you go. That way I'm not guessing. It's the exact same size as the card slot template. Go. We're gonna hold it there. No one said you have to do everything in one cut. Take your time. And this is not like crazy crucial that it has to be absolutely perfectly straight. It's not like you're piecing a bunch of pieces together. This is just for the card slots. There you go. It's like, what is it doing? So down here, it kind of like gets thinner. There we go. Thanks for the hearts, Melissa. I appreciate it. Okay, so did that. That moved on me. See what? That's all right. It's okay. It's okay. Okay. Bam. Look at that. So that's the strip, the width of the fabric. You're not going to need all of this, but it's good to have it as one piece. So now I have enough to do one more card slot, and if I cut this in half, it could be 2 more. If I really wanted to just make another one, I could. Very close. So if you want this to be straight, this down here has to be straight where the fold is. You should be able to get 2 of these out of here, I think. So there's another way to do it. Just in case. I did thin out a little bit towards the end there, but you can cut that off if you need to. The idea is to have it so it's long enough that when the cards don't come out. So it doesn't have to be the same width. Yes, that's right. That's right, Nova. They do have so Sunny Sewing Machines, I think it is, the ones that do her machines, and they have like little accented painted pieces, like just like this panel piece here, or pieces that they could have taken off, spray painted, and then put back on the machine. So that way you're not having to do the whole machine. You can definitely do that and still get a little bit of pizzazz without having to fully do the whole machine. All right, so I got some more of those for other things. Okay. All right, so I've got this. The clear I cannot do tonight because Luna is in the crate sleeping. Okay, so we've got this piece here that I'm going to trim just a little bit so that it's that little stuff doesn't go there. And then I'm going to just get some soapy water and get that off. So what I'm trying to do is just line up the bottom edge to be as straight as possible against one of my lines here. So when it comes to this leatherette, next time I'm just going to do the engraving and then these little pieces here, maybe not the circle parts, just the lines, so that it doesn't get as charred. It's almost like a rotisserie chicken. Okay, like it's a sliver. See that? Just a tiny little bit. And that was part of the cut that was supposed to happen. I just melted all together. Okay, look at that. Oh, that's so pretty. It made that so well. Like you can feel the difference in the texture. It looks really cool. Like even that being like that makes the red and black really cool. Okay, let me do a little bit around this one. Okay, it's still rubbing off. I really wipe that down. Okay, so those are done. This is the vinyl accent piece, and then I have to do the clear vinyl tomorrow morning after Luna is awake. Luna has to usually be in bed by 9:30, excuse me. She needs her beauty sleep. And she gets like gruff if she does not get her. If it's past 9:30 and I'm still in this room and she hasn't been put to bed yet, she'll start going like she's like, I'm tired. It's my bedtime. And then voila. And so see, that's going to be the bottom of the flap. So that's going to be this right here. Is that going to be cute? Super cute. So I just cut this to be the size of a rectangle. And then I cut the curved part out because I don't have the actual pattern piece cut file. This is something I just kind of like put together. But the other pieces were just rectangles, so it was easier to get those to cut out. Yeah, but it doesn't have to cut it out from the laser. You could also have it that it just scores and that you just follow the scored line to do your cutting. You could do that too. Okay. There we go. All right. And then one more piece that we need to cut. And that is the exterior back piece. And I cut this out already. And that's the same as this right here. The only difference is she has a pattern piece that you would put it on, pretty size stitching, stitch around, cut it out, push it through, and all that stuff. But because this is a vinyl and it doesn't fray, I just have it more of like a overlay kind of situation. Okay, so that means that this is the top and then that is the bottom. Yeah, and it's just a little bit. Boop, boop, boop. And that's that one. So all of our pieces are cut. Our flap, our main back, if you were not making these out of vinyl, then you would need to interface it. So for the exterior fabric, if it were, even if it was a waterproof canvas, unless it's like the 600 Dingo one, that one I don't know if you want to interface because it's pretty thick. But if you did like a canvas, like this one's a canvas, and I interfaced it. So, because the inside was a regular cotton. All right, and then I did these pieces, my card slot pieces, my ID window pieces, my card slot backing. And then we also have our card slot lining piece changed. This is the back pocket lining pieces, also altered. The two pieces mirrored at the angle. And then our full piece of the lining for the interior. All right, that is all of our pieces already cut. And that's pretty much all I do for this particular one. It took me a little longer just because I had to interface and do all that stuff, but really an hour for me talking along with you guys and cutting everything out. That's not too bad. Okay, guys, I really appreciate you guys coming and hanging out with me tonight. I will be saying hasta la vista. Vas con Dios. That means goodbye in Spanish. You saw the Minecraft movie. That's hilarious. I love that part. All right, guys. So thank you so much. I'll be sure to schedule the live for the sewing portion of this later this week, so you guys can watch that if you'd like to as well. All right, thanks. Bye.